what's up, bud?
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. This is the Mount Healthy High School Alumni Band version 41. We're really glad that you came out to listen to us this afternoon. We've had a great weekend, I should say, of rehearsal and getting back together and reacquainting and whatever. And you're in for a great show. You're going to be glad that you came. We almost thought it was going to be a light show. Remember the light shows, huh? The little lights up in the hat and everything. That was, ooh, man, I thought we were going there. But no, we're not pulling that out till next year, perhaps. The first number on the program is called The Poet Peasant. Franz von Suppe wrote this in 1946. He was an Austrian. And you're going to hear some music that sounds kind of familiar if you ever watched any old cartoons. Going back to the late 30s and through the 40s or early 50s, von Suppe wrote fun music, operettas, and music for theater, and it was all light and enjoyable, and so it fit very well into Popeye and Mickey Mouse and other cartoons. So enjoy The Poet and the Peasant Overture. The Poet the Peasant, ladies and gentlemen, conducted by Mr. Hinkle. Thank you, Russ, for that great, marvelous rendition. What about that clarinet section, ladies and gentlemen? You believe it? Quite incredible. Most of us showed up here Friday night. The clarinets actually started practicing back in May. And so that's why they're able to do that. That's an amazing commitment. It's an amazing commitment. Thank you very much. La Belle Americaine, The Beautiful American, is a piece that was written during the 19th century. John Hartman was was a Prussian guy who lived in England for some reason and wrote music. His family was in music. His father was a cornetist. And John followed in his footsteps and wrote this next piece. It's written in the style of the 18th or 19th century with a nice, wonderful theme and variations, kind of a format. You've heard a couple of those solos here over the last 41 years, or maybe before that, who knows. So we are very pleased to have a wonderful soloist for you. Mark Hensler is just finished his 35th year of teaching at the Northwest Local School District. And believe it or not, he said he's going back again in August for year 36. So we're all proud of him because that means that the rest of us will continue getting a paycheck on the first of the month. So thanks, Mark. Mark's other accomplishment has been an advocate for music in and around the greater Cincinnati area as a wonderful euphoniumist, soloist, collaborator in various different bands, notably the Bavarians. Come down and see us at Oktoberfest, please. Beyond that, Mark was a big player in the Ohio Music Education Association, is a past president and continues to serve as the chairman of the yearly convention that's held, which is a major accomplishment. And Mark does a great job with it every year, and he's going to do a great job with this solo. You're going to be wowed by this. So let's welcome to the stage, please, Mark Hensler.
Conducting my solo will be my first private teacher, back starting in junior high, Steve Hook.
Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mark. Great piece. That's one we've never done before, and it's a wonderful piece. Thank you for playing that for us. Next, you all have programs? I don't even know. Do you have programs? No programs. Oh, okay. Well, then I feel a lot more important about myself. The next piece we're going to play for you is the Liberty Loan March, and it's a John Philip Sousa march. And I believe I saw some information about it's the 60th march that the alumni band has performed over the last 41 years. All right? I don't know that merits any special applause or anything, but it's a pretty nice march. Well, thank you. Liberty Loan, it goes back to World War I. Actually, John Philip Sousa was asked to write this march to support the Liberty Loan effort, if you will, to raise money in support of the war. And in 1917, he put it together, and it's been around ever since, and it's a pretty popular little march. Our conductor is even more popular. His name is Mike Suman, and he is the retired band director from Benjamin Logan High School, which is up around Bellefontaine, Ohio. Is that Highland County? Logan County, I'm sorry. And Mike is going to step to the podium and conduct for us on the Liberty Loan March. How about a hand for Mike?
the wrong piece. So we had a microphone die there, sorry. And it's a good thing because I was going to announce the wrong piece incorrectly. So next we're going to have a solo, Someone to Watch Over Me. You're all familiar with that song, probably beautiful tune, George Gershwin. And beautiful. We know, oh, okay. I know what's wrong with me. I'm looking at their folders up here, and they've all got Someone to Watch Over Me. And because nobody plays on your piece, do they, right? Except you. So next we have something a little different for you, and it's a wonderful piece, clarinet piece, by the wonderful composer Igor Stravinsky. Igor Stravinsky was recognized as probably one of the most influential composers of the 20th century. He died in 1971 and wrote just tons of important music, orchestral music, a majority of the time, but also other smaller ensemble things and some music for clarinet, which you're about to hear next. So Margarita Rubio Audette is going to play for you a solo clarinet piece that Stravinsky wrote. Margarita graduated here from Mount Healthy, of course, and went on to play professionally in Florida and has lived in Massachusetts, where she was active there in music therapy and church music as well. She now lives in Tennessee and is engaged there in the musical therapy and also, again, the church work. So, and what is it? Does the piece have a name?
It's called Three Pieces for Clarinet, but I'm only doing two.
You don't have to tell them. Don't tell them; they'll never know. Yeah. So she's going to play. I was going to say, y'all come on up, but you're already here. So here's Margarita Rubio Audette. Yes, sir. What's that? Oh, you want to switch them out? Oh, that's got the camera.
Okay, thank you, Margarita. That was really neat to hear. Thank you so much for playing for us. Next, it may be no surprise to you, we're going to play a wonderful piece by George Gershwin called "Someone to Watch Over Me," and we're going to feature another soloist from the band here, Steve Hook, graduated in 1968. And has had a long career in education, first as a band director, then as a music administrator, then as a principal. And he's been working the statistics angle for the Deer Park City Schools for a number of years now. All the data that the state collects anymore is extremely important, and Steve handles that with a highly efficient manner. We know that Steve has been probably playing professionally for over 50 years on the trombone and the euphonium. He's going to play trombone for you today. And his conductor, they're reversing roles this time, is Mr. Hensler. So will you welcome to the stage, please, Steve Hook. Thanks very much, Steve. That was quite beautiful. Next, we have a concert piece for you. It's called "The Tribute and Triumph," written by David Schaefer, who at one point in time was a local band director around here. Am I right about that? Yeah? Okay. Finnington? Okay, very cool. All right, so, and he's written a lot of good band music over the years. And this is a great little piece, and our conductor is the man we all need to be thanking, because he's kind of been here with us Friday and Saturday and today, and opened the building and had the lights and the sound and whatever else going for us. He's in his 13th year here, starting 13? Finished 13, right? As the band director here at the high school. He graduated from Mount Healthy High School, the old building, in 2001. And we're grateful to him, and grateful that he's here to play with us and to conduct as well. So here's Mr. Jason McElroy doing Tribute and Triumph. Jason.
You know, I was trying to do some math, and in 1994, we had our Mount Healthy High School's 100th anniversary. And in doing the math, I think I figured out that this is Mount Healthy's 125th year. Did I do that right? So let's give Mount Healthy a big round of applause for 125 years. I'm Craig Rouse, class of 1967, and it's my pleasure and honor to present the 2019 Mount Healthy Alumni Band Scholarship Awards. Unfortunately, the two people who are winning those awards have other engagements today, other important engagements today, so we can forgive them. But I want to tell you who they were and what they've done to receive those awards. So the scholarship award obviously goes to the outstanding band member or band members for the year, and this year there are two recipients. The first one is Gilbert Hernandez. So I would like to tell you some of his accomplishments. He's been first chair trombone for a number of years. He received the Louis Armstrong Award. He participated in symphonic band, jazz band, and pep band. He was a tutor for younger players and beginners. Gilbert helped organize and catalog the music library, which, believe me, is no small task. He volunteered for many projects to help the band music department, truly deserving. This fall, he's attending the Ohio State University. He's majoring in engineering. So the Mount Healthy Alumni Band is pleased to present him with a scholarship of $500. Let's give him an applause even though he's not here. The next recipient is Sandy Trin. And I'd like to tell you some of her accomplishments as well. She was first year saxophone for a number of years. She was also valedictorian for the school for this year. Sandy also was on the band council. She participated in symphonic band, jazz band, and was in marching band for 3 years. This fall, she'll be attending also Ohio State University and majoring in chemical engineering. So the Mount Healthy Alumni Band is also pleased to offer her a $500 scholarship as well. Please give her a hand. Now, there's one other special presentation that's going to take place, and we have to turn this over to Abdul. Bigger than that, come on. Come on, bigger, it's really bigger, good award.
Good afternoon. How's everyone? I'm Abdul Rahman Ritter. This is my twin brother, Reginald. And my sister and I, my brother, sister, and I, the three of us joined the Mount Healthy Band in 1968. That's my brother and myself. My sister joined in 1967. Well, needless to say, my sister integrated the band. But something special happened the following year in 1968. The Mount Healthy High School Band toured from Mount Healthy High School to Mexico City, New Mexico. So that's Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, all down through the South in Texas. Now, what was spectacular about that trip was that the band, not just Mr. Hinkle, but the band had 3 black students. At that time, the word was Negro, on the bus, traveling through those southern states, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Texas. We didn't go to Louisiana, but Laredo. That's Louisiana. Any rate, we had this big band director by the name of Russell Hinkle. 6'2", 240 pounds, red head. Now who's gonna mess with Mr. Hinkle and his students? A beautiful thing was that we weren't considered black, colored, African American, Negro, any of that by the band members. They knew us by our names and our names only. Nothing negative was said toward us by anyone, not even when we got down to Mexico. So try to do that today and see what happens. Think about it. 1968, Vietnam War, riots. But at any rate, Mr. Hinkle, if you can get out here, sir. Will you hold that for me?
Yep.
My brother, sister, and I. We got together and said, we got to get Mr. Hinkle something because he made us international musicians. And the only thing Mr. Hinkle saw and our band members who was there with us was a trumpet player, another trumpet player, and a saxophonist. The plaque reads as such: to our greatest band director, Mr. Russell Hinkle, thank you for making us international musicians with our Mexico tour trip in 1968. May the Creator continue to bless you in this life and the next. The Ritter Siblings, 2019, Abdul, Reginald, and Wavon. One other. Not trying to take up too much time. One other thing happened. One other person was with Mr. Hinkle, and I was our Spanish teacher, Miss Cook at the time. I don't know where she is. I tried to contact her brother, but that lady spoke all the Spanish in the world because nobody on that bus spoke Spanish but Miss Cook. So this award is for Miss Cook. Thank you for interpreting our Mexican journey in Mexico City in 1968. And I'll find someone to give this to so she can get it. Thank you very much for your time.
Well, I have to tell you, I heard this story the other night. And by the way, you did take too much time, you know, right? But, quite the story, quite the moving experience, and thank you for sharing it. Some of us didn't get to go to Mexico, you know, right? There were a few of us that missed all the trips and everything. We keep rubbing it in, but it's okay. We'll live it someday. So I guess, the bottom line is, be careful what you're doing because you never know what influence you're going to have on somebody down the road. That was 68. Let me see if I can figure that out. That was 51 years ago, right? Huh? And you guys are bringing that back. Thank you very much. Well, now we have another solo for you that's a wonderful thing to hear, and it's different. me up here. It's called Piccolo Espanol, and the Spanish piccolo piece, okay? And it's a solo piece, and it's written by James Christensen, who's written a lot of music over many years, actually, for bands. And it's going to be played for you and for us by Pamela Frank Smith, who graduated in 1975 and went on to get her degree at DePauw University in Terre Haute, Indiana. Went on to, isn't that close? It's in Indiana. Okay. And so got her degree out there, and then went on to be an adjunct teacher there, taught some classes and whatever over a number of years, and raised a fine daughter, a very successful daughter, along with her husband Gina, and now is doing the kinder music, and actually has just finished doing 25 years of kinder music, which is working with really, really small kids on music. So will you welcome up to the stage, please, Pamela Frank Smith. Well, you're in for another treat next. Wasn't that great? Isn't Pam a fabulous player? Woo! And you all have to know, I mean, it's not an automatic thing to come in here and just sit down and get the band to play through that and do such a great job as they just did on all the accompaniments that we played today. So, thank you very much to the folks sitting back here and supporting these fine solos that we've heard. Next, in case you were wondering, we're going to hear a fine clarinet quartet. This piece was written by Claire Grundman, who writes a lot of music for wind bands and has over the years. He might be dead by now, actually, but he was a wonderful composer. Kentucky 1800, remember that one, David? Oh yeah, great piece. And they're not going to play Kentucky 1800, no. They're going to play Capriccio for clarinets. Here's our fabulous, this might be the start of their world tour, actually. Our fabulous clarinet quartet, Craig and Tim, Margarita, and Rita. Here they go. Thanks very much, guys. That was some fabulous playing there. We appreciate you being here and sharing that with us. We're going to next play a march for you. It's called Invercargill. Invercargill is a town in the South Island of New Zealand. The composer Alex Lithgow grew up there and wrote this piece for his hometown, and it's become a highly popular march. I read somewhere that it was favorably compared to the Stars and Stripes. Right, Sarah, that's what I said. And Colonel Bogey and the Radetzky March. I don't know about that. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's a really nice march, and it's a very popular march around the world. To conduct this march, we have Sarah Shamblin, who is an 06 graduate. I told her before we started up here today, I said, it seems like just a couple years ago you were standing up here accepting that scholarship that we gave you, you know? She said, no, that was in 2006. She went on to Northern Kentucky University, got her music degree there, spent 4 years at Covington Homes High School, and then has been now 3 years at Dixie Heights High School, 2 years, starting her 3rd year at Dixie Heights High School in Northern Kentucky. So please welcome Sarah to conduct the Invercargill March.
Is this one still working?
Make sure it works for you. I'll get it. Got that?
Yeah.
All right.
I am Pamela Frank Smith, and it really is an honor and a privilege to play a solo with the Alumni Band. And it reminds me how the Mount Healthy Band and Mr. Hinkle have continued to offer me opportunities well beyond my high school years. When we collaborate on these musical endeavors, it fosters a camaraderie that makes us all feel like kindred spirits. And that is why at these concerts, we always take the time to acknowledge those kindred spirits who have already passed away. Join us as we pay our respects to Bonnie Abernathy Kerpix, Nancy Albright, Wynn Baldock, Mike Beisner, Mary Jean Belanca Strine, Ken Bobinger, Ken Brooks, Beverly Browse, Donald Bavard, Margaret Cook, Susan Cook, Doug Cooley, Linnea Dershamer Rockland, Warren Ike, Thelma Emmons Fry, Dave Etzel, Nancy Fine-Wiggins, Marilyn Fishvote, Richard Fuller, James Gerard, James Graybill, Mike Gregory, Bruce Gudenkauf, Mark Hammond, Ken Hensler, Daryl Hinson, Steve Hinson, Nancy Jackson Maloney, Raylyn Jasper Guthrie, Carl Lyle, Don Linus, Mary Maddox, Debbie Mason Odell, Vicki McQuarrie Young, Scott Morris, Debbie Olendick Menkhaus, Jim Porter, Gerald Pottinger, Ken Rogers, Bob Redding, Bud Scholl, Sid Schwab, Eileen Shale, William Shively, Teresa Sturworth, Tom Stone, Joan Watson, Myra Wipers, Thelma Wernz Dudley, Era Lee Wynn, Brad Witzker, David Woods, Scott Riston, and Diane Maynard Ferguson. Now we will play the Navy hymn, Eternal Father Strong to Save. Please hold your applause following for a moment of silence.
It's my turn to speak now. You've heard all these wonderful people perform, and I'd like to tell you that it takes a real lot of people to put this show on. And I'd like to tell you how we do this. We get a group together one evening at my house to put the letters together for the alumni band. We had sent 800 letters this year. We have right now good addresses for our folks, about 776. I have 330 addresses that are not good. And we also, you heard the 54 people that have passed on. We have the folks that come to my house to stuff the envelopes are Craig Rouse, Ken Handley, not Larry, he's also, Ken Handley, Carol Handley, Ron Hartman, and Laurel Hinkle. They all worked on the envelopes, and we mailed them out the next day. So you get the results here. And when I hear this group play and hear these young people play, I think there are people responsible other than me. I get more credits than I deserve. The people that have come before us and developed most of these young people in the elementary school and the junior high school are these folks: Steely Beach, Bob Fote, Paula Aronoff, Bill Beshman, Charles Lauterbach, and Robert Gray. Those folks are very deserving, and some of them have certainly passed away. I can't give them the credit personally, but we know that they did a fantastic job. A few months ago, I was giving a bassoon lesson, and this girl was a student from one of the local high schools, and she told me, "Our band is going to Disney World." I said, "Swell." And she said, "I can't come next week to take a lesson because we're going to Disney World." I said, "Well, that's good. Our band has been to 9 states, and in that period of time, we played the World's Fair in Knoxville, Tennessee, the OMEA, or the Midwest, I guess it's called the Mid-East Band Clinic in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, marched the Indianapolis 500 parade, and did an exchange concert with a high school band in New Jersey, and also did exchange band with the University of Mexico in Mexico City. So we did get a little traveling here. And then I thought more, gee whiz, I says, our band has been to 19 foreign countries. And we've played concerts in 17 of those countries. And we've been in some of the most marvelous museums in the world and some of the most beautiful churches in Europe. So you know that this band has done a lot. It's been so much fun working with these folks over the years. I have my notes here, and I have to check them so that I don't forget anybody. Oh yes, I want to go into the value of music. When I look at the folks that have been in our music program here, we have doctors, lawyers, dentists, elementary teachers, junior high teachers, high school band directors, college professors, and many of them tell me what music meant to them when they were in high school, because it teaches them to devote something and always work hard, do what you do, and do the best you can. And I'm so happy to work with these people over the years. It's been a joy to me to work with them. It's so much pleasure. And before we play our last number, I would like to tell you that one of the greatest thrills of my life was playing the national anthem of China. We've always played the national anthem to start our concerts, and we always finish our concerts with the Stars and Stripes Forever. certainly enjoyed being for you. You've been a wonderful audience. I do have 2 more announcements to make. We've always, the band, the alumni band, has always supported the instrumental music here at Mount Healthy. And when I think of all the money that we spent for instruments, for lessons, for repair, and we will help do anything that the band, the instrumental program needs. We have, right now, we're going to take, on the way out, there'll be 2 lovely ladies out there collecting donations, and we'd appreciate that you fill up those 2 boxes. We certainly appreciate it. Also, I'd like to thank Lori Jones and her daughter Maria for hosting our ice cream social, which will be held in the lobby. Thank you very much for coming, and fill up those boxes.